I'm not on blood.
Right there. Oh, there he is up there. The dove plot is quickly becoming one of the best spots on the whole property, and starting about 4 years ago was not even a food plot, it was just a natural opening. Well, I finally got the time and the resources to actually plant this as a food plot, and I ended up killing my number 2 target buck that year in that spot. And I didn't really realize what made it special, why the bucks liked it so much, but over the last 4 years, as I've hunted it, I've realized that the thick swampy cover to the north and the ag fields to the south makes it set up perfect for a staging plot. The does come out of that swampy cover, they feed there for 20 or 30 minutes, and then they feed on acorns as they move up these big rolling oak ridges and then hit the corner of the beans and feed there all night. But during the rut, this all changes because the bucks start to run this plot the long ways, trying to run perpendicular to the doe trails to see if any of them are in estrus. And that makes it set up perfectly for where my stand location is. So the morning of November 1st, I got up into my stand and didn't even have time for an interview before I looked down on the swamp and saw one of my target bucks trying to do this exact same thing. Right. Well, I finally calmed down a little bit. Got in the stand just a hair late. This is my first morning sit, and that first morning sit is always a little bit hard to gauge when you should get in because I don't really like using a flashlight. I like to wait until it's just barely getting light enough so I can still see. Got in here, didn't even do an interview, had just put my release on my bow, looked down in the swamp, and I'm like, that's gotta be a shooter buck. Just big body moving with its head down. Comes up into this food plot that I call the dove plot, about 60 yards, and I turned around and I grunted behind me because I did not want to grunt right at him. Made a beeline right towards me, comes about 3 yards from my tree, does a little loop back into my right, and is impossible to film back there. And I knew, I was like, if he gives me a shot, I just got to take it. First morning sit, and that was a lot of fun. So hopefully we'll have some reinforcements coming here soon to help with the track job and keep you guys updated. All right, we're here at First Blood. Looks like I probably went through both his shoulder blades, and when he took a step, it broke off. So we definitely got probably 20 inches of penetration. I'm not too worried about the shot. Obviously there's always a little doubt in the back of your mind, but looks like I smoked him. So we're gonna get on the blood trail here and see if we can find him. Here,
there. Tree. Going up here, here, here. Here. I'm not on blood.
Right there.
Oh, there he is up there. Perfect shot. He didn't actually bleed as much as I thought.
Well, here's the buck I named Lobo. Had quite a bit of history with this buck, velvet pictures through most of the summer. And then once season rolled around, he kind of disappeared for a while. And during my second sit of the season, I sat at this very same stand and ended up having a really cool encounter with him. He came through at 45 yards and then hit a scrape at 60 yards. And I ended up not getting a good shot at him. But I just knew if I stayed patient, he was bound to come through again. Ended up trying to scent check this food plot, and I grunted him to me. He was standing there at about 3 yards, and I just had to stop filming. He got way too close. Ended up going to my right, couldn't film over there either, and gave me a 20-yard shot. And I just knew I had to take the shot. So I'm really happy with this buck. Ended up running about 75 yards and tipping over, and this is exactly how we want to do it every single time. Minimal track job, quick death, and this big boy is going to put a lot of meat in the freezer, so I'm happy.